Remember, the key to success is working hard. For our country, we must have regard. Forget all your differences, let we start to build. And onward to progress we surely will. Because now, more than ever, we must show discipline, tolerance, and production to build a strong and better nation. I say that is the main foundation. So come let us work hand in hand, because this is our land. Come my brother, come my sister, and let us build a nation together.
Come, my brother, come, my sister, and let us build Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique together. And that's the call, to build, not to break, not to mash up, not to cause instability. Let us build Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique so our children and children can live a better life. I want to welcome you to the Dynamic Hour. Again, another unique opportunity that you and I have to talk using technology, radio, that's Vibes 101.3 FM and Vibes 106.3 FM, using Facebook. And when I say using Facebook, our official page is the, Grenada Transformation Agenda, not the Grenada Transformation Agenda. And on YouTube, Vision Information Services. So you have many means, many ways of listening to the program. I want you to share the program. If you're listening to me on the radio, tell people about the program and the station so more and more people can tune in. I want you to also, if you're on Facebook and YouTube, to share the live. Sharing is caring. When you share the live, you give others the opportunity to listen, to view. I want to start off this morning by saying, do not underestimate the reach of those who seek to destabilize the country. Do not underestimate the connection that they have, and they're ambitious. They want to come back into power, and they will do everything within their space, with all the connections that they have, to undermine this legitimate government. And do not fool yourself. If a party been in power for 20-something years, they establish relationships, friends, connections. They know people in the different ministries. And mind you, over a period of 20-something years, the people who they know might be those at the top, not just at the bottom in terms of the grade or the scale within the ministry. So they know people in the different departments. They know people within the different ministries. And they would work through them to destabilize, to undermine, to disrupt, to derail the transformation agenda. And there are those with leadership aspirations. They want to become the leader of their party, and they believe by undermining this legitimate government through ministries that they may have been in charge of, might get them where they want to be, or might get them that title, that position that they are vying for. So sometimes you have to look deep and wide to understand what is at play. There seems to be a concerted effort, a deliberate effort to work through certain agents in different ministries and departments in a very sly way to undermine the gains made by this administration. And mind you, some ministers could be somewhat naive in that they don't believe that uh, those individuals are capable of doing that. And sometimes you have to kind of put them sit down and say, hey, that is who they are. They are accustomed doing that. They did that in 2008 to 2013. And they are doing the same thing because they are reading from the same playbook. So they are working through their friends, their colleagues. Because remember, if you been in government for 20 years, it means that you may have aided or assisted certain people with their promotions. So they got promoted over a period of time. So they may move from being a secretary to an administrative secretary or to a senior uh, officer within the ministry, because they would not stay one way. And because you were instrumental in getting them that promotion, they become very loyal to you. They become very loyal to you. And yes, governments change, but their loyalty remains, because every time they think about their promotion, they think about you. It's just like some police officers. When they get a promotion, they see the government who gave them the promotion. They see the commissioner who gave them the promotion. And they become very loyal somewhat to them. It's just like a person or families in a community getting a piece of road. You know, maybe it was mud before and they got a piece of road from a particular member of parliament or a government. And from that day on, they become supporters of that party or supporters of that individual. And wherever the individual goes, they go with the individual politically. So they become very loyal. They remember those things. It's a similar thing within those ministries. You had one party in power for 20 something years. So they build that level of loyalty over a period of time. And there are some people who were, well, they're no longer a minister of government, but they might be a MP, right? Or they might be involved in the opposition party or parties, and they're able to pick up the phone from time to time and find out what is happening in those ministries and what are the programs, what are the initiatives of the government, and they would then strategize how they can stall, how they can derail, how they can undermine the government's efforts, how they can disrupt the government's efforts. And we are seeing that playing out today. But some ministers, you have to kind of put them sit down and say, hey, you got to look at the thing outside of the box. And what are the possibilities? What are some of the things at play? Because they may believe, well, those public officers, they were hired to do their work, and they will do their work professionally, and they will do their work even if you're not looking. But do not fool yourself. The level of loyalty, the level of loyalty some of these people have to politicians, past and present, you would be amazed at the amount of leakage. You'd be amazed at the strategy of the opposition forces to undermine this government by going through their agents, going through their supporters within some of those government departments. Because it's easy to stall things, within government. There are some people, their signature must be penned to a document. And if it is not, then this thing remains there sometimes for weeks. For weeks. And I am simply saying the system needs to reform, needs to change. And we all agree on that. There are too many bureaucracies and red tapes and bridges that you have to cross to get certain things done within government. And mind you, they are protected by laws. They are protected by legislations. The public service system is complicated, but it must be simplified. It must be simplified. And look, I always say, you cannot go to a person who intends to vote and say to that person, well, the public officer who did X and did Y, or the Public Service Commission who did that and who did this. No, nope. You could say that in your mind, but to go to them and tell them you're going for their voter, to face these people and tell them it's some public officer who did this and did that, they would not fall for it because they know that you're the politician. You're the person who wants the vote. You're the person who would come to them for the vote. And if they ask you for something that they believe you are capable of delivering or doing for them, you cannot go and say, well, this officer who came and assessed or evaluated your situation said you do not qualify. Or this officer or this committee prevented you from getting your salary on time. Or this person hindered you from. No, it would be better for you to go in front of a voter, and by the time you arrive there, the voter says, that's the man who gave me that piece of road, That's the person who gave me that drain. That's the person who gave me some material assistance. That's the person who added me to the poor relief assistance program. That's the person who helped my child to go off to study. That's the person who helped me at CC with my kids. That's the person who gave me X or gave me Y. Or that's the person who was there at my father's funeral, or at my sister's funeral, or at my uncle's wedding, or at the community event that was very successful, or that's the person who assisted this school or did some work on the medical station, or that kind of thing. It is better to get that by the time you arrive. I know, because I have been in the field. I campaign with so many people and at management level, all right, marshaling the troops. And I can tell you, I have been out there, and there are times you go with certain people, and the minute time you arrive, the voter or voters would embrace them, would jump and for joy. They happy because they would be able to tell you a story of how that MP assisted them, helped them, or that MP has always been there for them. It is important, very important to understand that. And then there are occasions you go to visit or you're doing a house to house. And the people, by the time they see the MP, they say, don't come in my yard. I ain't want you in my yard. right? Don't come in my yard. And sometimes it's a solid supporter who got disgruntled, who got bitter, who got upset with certain things, sometimes very small things. Huh? Don't come in my yard. And immediately you lost 5 or 6 votes, just like that. All right? So you see, sometimes it is important to understand we governing, but we also have to play the politics. All right? And yes, you might be friends with people within the different ministries, but I can tell you, because of the level of loyalty the NNP and the other opposition forces got over a period of time, it is hard to break that loyalty between certain former ministers and so on and the staff in different ministries. And that is why I'm saying there are people, public officers, who, because of their loyalty to former ministers of government and party, they can actually be agents that the opposition forces are working through to undermine, to derail a lot of things. And you cannot be naive. You cannot be that foolish to think that it's not possible or it's not happening. You have to leave room for that possibility, because we know, especially the people with experience, we know what to expect from the opposition forces. And that is why I have been saying the opposition forces in the country, they are playing from the same book, the same playbook they're using. Village meetings, zonal meetings, and what they do is disseminate false information, misinformation, with the hope of fooling a lot of people. They're unsuspecting voters and the people out there. There are people out there who do not tune into GIS, who do not visit GIS Facebook page or YouTube channel. There are people out there who listen to only one program or two, and that's it. So whatever they get from those two programs or program, they believe that's the gospel. And those programs are not putting facts on the table. They're not interested in facts. So, for example, typical example, the chatters on the street called the Plead Your Cause program this morning, and he made an allegation. He made a certain statement that people out there in the diaspora are buying up the homes, right? The Chinese low-income houses. And he alleged that that's happening. All right? So he alleged that people in the diaspora, they're buying up those Chinese houses, all right? Low income. And then he went on to say, well, they're in the diaspora, and the people here who are in need, and they have the family, and they have the this, and they're in need, pay to own would have been a better thing, and that kind of thing of that sort. And he started going on. And then he starts stating fact. He changed from allegation to say, well, it's actually happening. But the host of the program is not knowledgeable, not skillful enough, right? Not able to say, hey, you allege X, Y, and Z. It means that you don't have the facts. You don't have the facts to substantiate the claim or claims that you are making. But it's going out there. It's on radio. When he says those things, people who are listening fall for it, and they believe. There are some people, the minute time they hear that, they believe that is exactly what is happening. And no one from Housing Authority, for example, might be listening to this program to call in and correct that individual, or from the government standpoint, listening to a program like that religiously, right? So you can't blame them, right? But I'm saying that it's just left to that person who is listening to believe or not. And that is what they know. So they go on radio programs with that misinformation, all the lies, and it's pure lies. Lies because the people who were given the first opportunity to purchase those low-income homes, Chinese low-income homes, are the people who applied way before, who applied, and there are those who, within that period of time, applied. So it's a pool. It's not like people from the diaspora buying up those low-income homes. No, it's false. But that is the falsehood that the opposition forces will put out there. And if you don't know, then you would buy that because they're trying to scare you into believing that these people have, and their money might be a little more than the EC in conversion, then they're able to buy it easily. And mind you, if that was the case, then all the apartments will be occupied. All. But the NNP pundits, they're out there with the lies, and they're using established platforms to misinform the leaders of their organization, because it's both ways, They're misinforming the leaders of their organization, and the organization leaders are misinforming them. And their supporters and other people, because you're listening and you don't know, you grab the thing and you run with it. But that is what they do, consistently so, with the hope of misinforming and causing a kind of stir within the society. I am saying, folks, the opposition forces, they are using the same playbook, and their hope is to cause chaos within the society, to misinform the population so much that they cause people to be somewhat confused and uneasy in going forward. That is what they do. It is sad, but that is the reality. Because the opposition forces, they are not interested in facts. They are not interested in talking about the good things that this government is doing. So, for example, Nolan Cox would not come and applaud the NDC administration or the Honorable Tevin Andrews for seeing the completion of the bypass road for the hospital in Karakou. Remember, they started that bypass road? Proper construction. Well done. It was completed, but Nolan Cox will not go on air and commend the government and applaud the government and applaud the Honorable Tevin Andrews. No, he will not do that. It is not in his interest or his party's interest to do that. Hundreds of public officers are getting assistance from government in Karakou. Police officers, nurses, those who work in the different ministries and so on, those who teach and, public officers. They're getting assistance on a daily basis with materials. A friend called me from a particular firm, selling materials and so on. And she said to me, Kem Jones, if you see the amount of people who are getting materials, $15,000 worth of materials to repair their roof, to fix their roof, to fix their, their house generally, they're getting assistance. The amount of fishers getting assistance. The amount of small businesses in Karakou and Petit Martinique who were able to access the money from the Grenada Development Bank. You would not hear Nolan Cox going on air and commending the Honorable Tevin Andrews. No, look at Project Pristine, the kind of work that they have done to remove the yachts and the debris and so on in the oyster bed area on outside Paradise Beach and all those different places around Karakou and Petit Martinique. Look at the work that they have done, gathering all the debris from inland and putting it at strategic locations so that they can be shipped to mainland. They're doing a lot of work. Look at the amount of government buildings, because you need to have the government buildings uh, fixed quickly so that operations could continue, so that some level of normalcy could continue. Nearly all the government buildings are fixed. They worked on the schools to get back the schools up and running. So work is being done. Businesses, businesses are coming back to where they're supposed to be. The guest houses, they're almost there. So things are happening. But don't expect Nolan Cox and the NNP to be outside there praising the NDC government and telling you about all the good things that they are doing. No, they would be out there trying to highlight bad things, and not only that, concoct stories, create things that are not even happening. They would create a scene. They would tell you that it's happening because they want the government to look bad. They want the Honorable Tevin Andrews to look bad. They would not go and talk about, SVGA is back and, the 19-seater and so on. They would not tell you that. You're mad. They would not tell you that the airport is back up and running. They would not tell you that. They would not tell you that the banks are functioning. Grenlec was able to restore current. Nawasa was able to do what they said they were going to do. They would not tell you that the MNIB depot is open again in Karaku. They will not tell you those things. No, they will not. They have no interest in that. They would go to people who are waiting for assistance, right? And they would say to them, well, you see, they give that one, and then give you won't get, because they're trying to create division one and have people believe otherwise. That is what they're hoping to do. Because there are some people who are gullible. There are some people who won't grab these things and they would believe it. There are some people who are going to believe it. This morning, Nenny called the Plead Your Cause program, and she said she visited Karaku 3 times. And she said Karaku is bouncing back. Karaku and P.T. Martinic is bouncing back. And that is important for you to see the progress being made. Yes, it is matriculative over a period of time. So she been there the first time. She was a bit concerned, wondering, boy, how long these people going to take to bounce back. And then she go there the next time. She realized they're making progress. And she went back. She realized that they are making a lot of progress. A lot of progress is being made in Karaku and Petit Martinique. But on the NNP programs, for example, they would continue to say, well, the people of Karaku and Petit Martinique are suffering. The people of Karaku and Petit Martinique are this. And that is what the NNP will continue to say. Even if a lot of strides, a lot of things are happening to help the people to bounce back, they will still continue to say that because they want the government to look bad. They want people to believe that the government is not doing what it's supposed to do for the people. The Honorable Tevin Andrews, for example, was out on the weekend distributing water himself with a team of people, giving people water, bottled water and so on, helping the people of Karaku and Petit Martinique. And you know what's nice about it? They have not abandoned the projects that they have started before. No, they have not. Nolan Cox will not commend the students of SGU who went up to Karaku and planted how much? 200 trees? 200 trees and so on. On the beach, inland, the botanical gardens, just name it. He will not do that. The NNP will not do that. So they're on their platform, they have meetings and so on, and only bad news. They are bearers of bad news. All they can do is to bad talk the government. And I'm happy to see that this young lady from St. Mark, I think Dr. Charles, who is now with the NNP, I'm happy to see that she's not taking the same line as the NNP foundational people, the folks who have been there. I mean, it's her first go at that particular meeting, right? But she was somewhat forward-thinking, forward-looking, progressive, And that's good. That is a good thing. I was happy to hear that. It was like a breath of fresh air. And some people may say, well, Kim, don't talk highly about them, but that's a fact. She came across as different than the bunch. She came across as different from Emlyn Pay. She came across as different from Kate Lewis. She came across as different from Clarice Modeste. She came across as different from Keith Mitchell. She came across as different from even the moderator, right? The chairwoman. She was forward thinking, right? And that is what you would get when you have new people who want good for the country, and they are not just looking at little things and blowing it up to create anarchy and chaos and instability in the country. And that's really good. You're young, you have your future ahead of you. I think if you continue on that path, it would be good. It augurs well for Grenada. And that is what you want to see. You come with your own style. You don't get yourself tied up with the rancor, the tribal politics and the bitterness that is there. So I just hope that over time, that is what you get. You want to see the new politicians and the young people and the people who are roped in doing it differently. Because you have an opposition. All they do is criticize. All they do is condemn. All they do is to fight, to break up things, to mash up things. They're divisive, they're tribal, they're full of hate and bitterness, and it's playing out publicly. People are seeing that coming from them every single day. They have nothing good to say about this government because they believe Grenadians are accustomed to negativity. Grenadians are accustomed to condemning, criticizing. In other words, you would be around someone and you will be doing 99 good things, or you have done 99 good things, but just that day, you didn't do X or Y the way it should be done. They hold that against you and not the 99 good things that you have done over that period of time. That is exactly what they would do. All right? So they know that our people forget things quickly. They know that our people tend to hold that one bad thing or that one mistake, that one error against you, even if you did plenty things good. All right? So it's similar, You're in a setting or you have some friend and you would be close, right? Close with them, cool. They lend a $20 from you, you give them. Second time you give them, third time, fourth time, you're giving them. But the minute time you say to them, well, I can't lend you because I ain't have. They get vexed, they get angry with you, they get bitter, and they hold that against you. They don't remember the 10 times you lend them or you loan them or whatever. They would not remember that. Or they plain they and remember it. And that is a situation, a similar situation in politics. Similar thing in politics. So the NNP, they've become so negative that they could see nothing good in this government. Nothing, which is sad. And you go through communities, right? Or you mix with certain groups and certain individuals, and they will tell you that they are fed up with an NNP who is only out there criticizing, condemning, and not putting forward solutions, not even doing anything to help. All they do is criticize, condemn, tear down, and that's their strategy. That is their strategy. In all that you're hearing about Carriacou and P.T. Matnick, you ever hear Keith Mitchell name call as giving anything, as donating anything, as reaching out to help anybody? No. Nope. You ever hear or you ever heard Gregory Bowen name call or any one of them in there as given from their personal stockpile, as given from their personal, money and so on to help in any way possible? And mind you, they're politicians. Anything they give, you're going to know. Anytime they give, you're going to know. Because look, the NNP, for example, they at their general council pick up 3,000 something EC dollars, under 1,000 US. All right? Sorry, not under 1,000 US. Just a little above 1,000 US. Because I think it was 3,000 something. Right? A little above 1,000 US. And that was news for days for them towards the young man who fell and sustained serious injuries. But I am saying the goal for that individual was to come up with 70,000 US. And the NNP, they were able to raise just a little above 1,000 US. That was big thing for them, right? One individual, a lady, a good friend, Miss Charles, she called me. She said, I want to give $1,000 towards this young man, one individual, all right? But you don't hear Keith Mitchell giving anything towards anything. No. Nope. They will not. He will not take his personal money and give towards any cause. In fact, I laughed and I wanted to play that piece, but I said, let me hold it back. Keith Mitchell was at the St. David's meeting, right? They had a zonal meeting in St. David. And I couldn't laugh deeper or louder. The man used words to the effect that when he was prime minister, if you used to see the line of people outside his office on a Thursday or whatever day, money, grandma and money, look, close the door. Close it a bit. All right? Not hard. Soft. Right, come. Take, right. Yes. So the man, come here. Come this way. Pass here. Right? So if you see people outside of his office, you going to daycare? All right, you want to say morning? You want to tell the people morning? The viewers come on, tell them morning. Come on, say morning. All right, say morning to them. You can't see you don't know you're short. Say morning.
Morning.
Right. So Zoe say morning. All right, bye. All right, take care. Good. So, all right, close it. Yes. So it's not even funny, So the man said, if you see people outside of his office and they line up on a Thursday, and then he said, even by the ministerial complex, and use words to that effect, they line up for assistance. They come in to beg him or come in for assistance, come in to ask for some favor or something like that. And I say, but wait, okay, when you are in government, you're able to do that. So why are you not doing that now? Why are you not doing that now? All right? You still have how much? $19 million, right? Or I don't know how much more, how much less. Why he is not doing that now? So you need the government. You need to be in power to do that, because he was making a comparison. All right? He was saying, well, the most honorable Deacon Mitchell, our beloved prime minister, is not doing that. You ain't seen all this line of people coming to beg and coming to ask for this and ask for that. Because, that is how he has always governed. Keith Mitchell has always governed that way. He believes that people need to come and beg and plead and ask for this. He doesn't believe in empowering a person so that they can be meaningful within the community or within the country. He doesn't believe in that. I could tell you, he wants you to come and beg and beg and beg. And when he decides he's not giving you, then you stay hungry. All right? But I'm saying all of this to say to you, why this man is not doing the same thing now as we speak. You're the leader of the opposition. Your office should be one where people come in and line up and ask for this and ask for that and giving this and giving that. Keith Mitchell don't give people easily his personal money and resources and so on. No, he doesn't do that. So, you see, a person could say something, but you have to kind of listen and not just what they say, but what they ain't say, and look at the action. The action. In all that's happening in Carriacou and P.T. Matnick, you ever hear Keith Mitchell, who has all the millions and millions of dollars, you ever hear this man name called or mentioned as giving anything? You know, a long time I didn't hear about the Keith Mitchell Foundation, Since Royston Hopkins died, I didn't hear about that thing at all. No. And I remember that little joke where a certain member of that foundation, he said, but wait, the foundation is in the man name, but why we not hearing about the man's contribution to the foundation? You understand the point? I am saying to you, people could talk. The man out there talking, and he could condemn, he could criticize, and they criticize everything, and they attack everything, and they say all kind of bad things about. But I'm saying to you, have you heard this guy name mentioned for doing anything, for fixing anything out of his personal resources? No, you're mad. Where? That would never happen. This man is not even, I cannot credit this man for opening a pig pen, to create some jobs, right? I cannot say that this man has invested in anything at all. Period. It is just sad. Sad. But he's out there condemning this one, condemning that one, attacking this government, attacking this minister, saying all kind of nasty things about everybody. Because why? He wants NNP back in power. He wants his party back in power. They want to be in charge. All they want is power. And they are not stopping. All right? Even if Grenada is on its knees, and they want to see Grenada on its knees, so they can easily walk up the back of Grenada and straight into power. They want to get back into power. So they say that they want to rescue Grenada. Rescue from what, really? You were there for 20-something years. What you couldn't do in 23 years and a half that you could do in 5 years. I really want somebody who is smart, who is intelligent to tell me, you had 23 years and a half to do it. And then you had 40 years in total to do what you set out to do. All right? 40 years and almost half of a century. And you telling me that you can do it in 5 years because you didn't get the chance to do it? Come on. And I start challenging them to run on their record. So they're now starting to talk about what they did and what they did. And mind you, they lying a lot. A lot. The man is on a platform saying when they came into power, there was not 1 cent in the treasury. You believe that? So you're saying to me that a government would have $0 and 0 cents in the bank because the treasury doesn't have money in it. Their accounts will be in the banks. You telling me that they would have no money at all? It's a big joke. A big joke. But mind you, when NDC say when they took power in 2008, the treasury was almost empty. You know the NNP have problem with that? There are a lot of problems with that. Yeah. But I am saying, if you're in government, you're supposed to leave something there, some foundation for the next government to continue. To continue. So don't believe that you're there, you go wreck the thing, and then the other government must come and start from scratch because they're upset, they're angry because they never expected the NDC to win the election. That the last election there were some NNP ministers, right? Ministers of government, who left their jacket, their blazers in their office on the chair, at the back of the chair, or hang up somewhere in the office, Yeah, they left it there. They never expected that they were going to lose the election. So it took them as a surprise. Some of them couldn't go back in that ministry to get their jackets or get their blazers, No, or their briefcase or their bag, all that files and so on. They thought that they were coming back into office the next day. So they were pleasantly surprised that the NDC won the election. And this is a different type of NDC. That is not the NDC of old, where those leaders would just bank up money and bank up money and bank up money there. And then the NNP comes into office and they just have money to spend and do this and do that. No, nope. That is a totally different NDC. All right? The spending on things that's supposed to be, what are considered important, the spending. That is why you have $10 million going to farmers, plus 9 point something, that's about almost $20 million going to farmers. That's hard cash going to farmers. And then you have the fishers and so on getting assistance too. Then you have the Grenada Development Bank, for example, $25 million placed there for small businesses throughout. You saw $75.1 million going to the pensioners. You saw the increase for public officers, 13% increase. That's more money that they are getting. The minimum wage, more money again. And so many other things. The CES program that they started off assisting people with $30,000 grant. So a lot of things are happening. The government is building a lot of roads, building schools, refurbishing community centers, lighting playing fields, fixing playing fields, just name it. Basketball courts, netball courts. They're spending the money and they're doing what they're supposed to do. So the NNP is fearful. I don't want to say scared, but fearful, because this is a different NDC. It's not one that is conservative, and you just make money, take money, and pile it up, in the treasury or in government accounts, and then the other one just come and just pick it up and run with it. Nah. They lighten, as Kira is saying, they lighten the tourist attraction sites. They lighten up the beaches and so on. They're doing stuff. They're doing work. Then you have the Molyneux Road. They're completing that very soon. That will be open officially. Then you have the Calivini Road. Things are happening. Some people are talking about the H. Street project. And if I tell you what's holding up, or what's causing the H. Street project to go a bit slower, is some woman who owns some property right there, right? Trying to prevent the contractors, the builders, from entering her premises to do some work that is needed. Yeah, something as simple as that. She insists that they should not enter her property to go and do it. So what the government should do is to acquire the property, take it, acquire it, because there is no need for that. You want access to be able to complete the project. All right? So sometimes the government has to come out and explain and tell people what's going on. Let them know that this is the case. This is what is happening. And that is why the thing is prolonging like that and dragging like that. All right? So I am saying, folks, this NDC is different. And they are not too worried about what the NNP will say. You see our beloved Prime Minister? He was heading to, I think it's Rwanda, for this big Africa conference. And because of an outbreak of some virus or some disease there, he decided not to go there. But he ended up in Lagos, Nigeria. And that was a really good move, because if you check out the CBI program, you would realize that a lot of Nigerians are purchasing our citizenship. They're becoming citizens of Grenada, which is great, which is wonderful. All right. So the NNP don't have much to say because they were attacking the CBI program and saying, well, the Russians are this and the Russians getting citizenship and so on. So now they are not able to talk about the Russians, right? They can't talk about the Nigerians because these are our people, all right? Africans, these are our people. It's just that we took our great grand took a ship from Africa, the continent Africa, to the Caribbean. And some people went or was dropped off in Haiti or Jamaica or Antigua or wherever. Just a different boat we took, right? Meaning our great grand. But we all are Africans. We all are Africans. So it is really reconnecting. It is really reconnecting with our roots. And that is now playing out because more and more of our African brothers and sisters are now getting Grenadian citizenship or the other islands with CBI. They're buying into that. So it's a new market, so to speak. And our beloved Prime Minister and political leader, he went there and not just no little visit, he was able to visit the CEO of this huge company in Nigeria, a billionaire in Nigeria, and also public officials in Nigeria to get commitments in many different areas to help our people and help the Caribbean. He's a leader. And I love that. I really do. So and there's a level of jealousy on the part of the NNP. They're jealous. They're jealous because they didn't get that kind of welcome and that kind of camaraderie and that kind of, they were not able to, go to those places and be invited to this and invited to that. No. They never embraced Keith Mitchell, for example, like that. World leaders and organizations throughout, they were never embracing these people like that. Never. At no given time. All right? So I am saying it is clear that our government is on the right path. On the right path. There's a lot of work to be done. A lot of work to do. And we have to open up our eyes some more in those ministries. All right? And yes, as a good friend said, we didn't know when a certain leader went to St. Maurice in Switzerland and collect a whole pile of money in a briefcase. A certain leader. Because he was meant to go to this place and he ended up in that place and collected a whole pile of money. And that was the scandal of the day. All right? Yeah. Just saying again, we need to keep our eyes on the ministries and departments because that is where the opposition forces will seek to destabilize the government through the agents in those different ministries and departments. So we have to put our feet down to make sure that we protect what we have and we safeguard the agenda, the transformation agenda. Because that is exactly where they would start undermining the government in those departments. They are accustomed to that. They know how to do it. They did it in the past to undermine the government. All right? So you have to keep focus. Again, just saying that this program is funded by people just like you. And to those who promise to give something towards the program, try to fulfill that obligation. Because many times people might say, yes, put me down for this or put me down for that. And weeks would pass, right? But remember, the bills have to be paid. Commitments have to be met to pay the bills, to keep things going, to keep this program on air. So I want to urge you, if you give a commitment to give towards this program, fulfill that. And if you can't do it because something pop up, say so. Say, hey, well, say I go give something, but something pop up. All right? Yeah, because we're counting on you to give towards the program to keep it on air. All right? That is important. Just like other programs. Just like other programs, they count on the listeners. In fact, when we started off asking the viewers and listeners to give to this program, the NNP criticized this move. But today, the NNP program, they're asking their viewers and listeners to give money towards their program. In fact, they have a, a, a go-to-fet link, some go-to-fet link, right, that they're using for people to give towards their program, to keep their program on air. So we have started. They criticize, they condemn it, right? But right now, they're asking people to give towards their program to keep it on air. So again, I'm saying this program is funded by you, the ordinary people out there, home and abroad. And it's important to give towards keeping it afloat. And while I do not collect a salary, because I have been doing this program for 10 years and a good while after that, all right? We're going on to 11 years in May of next year. I have not been collecting a salary at the end of the month to keep this program going. No, nope, not once, not 1 month. All right? But definitely when our station is up and running and things are okay there, then things will be different. But for now, it is so important that you give towards this program in any little way that you can. You see the number there under the program. You can WhatsApp me, you can call. And those who give a commitment to give, please try to fulfill that commitment. I want to wish you all the best. Have a wonderful day. I will be back with you tonight, starting from 8 in the p.m. until 9. All right. And for those who are on the live, don't worry. Anytime a person comment on the live, I see first. All right. So anybody who comment on the live, put a comment in the comment section on the live, I would see you first. And I have the power to block you with one click. Just block you, or I block you on Facebook and on YouTube. And also I could block you on the stream. So it's easy. So don't worry. Anytime you see a person comes on with a fake page or fake name, and sometimes, they listening, but the minute time they comment and they say certain things, I read. I'm a good reader. I read quickly. All right. So I easily just block those persons. So don't worry about that. When a person comes on the program and they want to learn, they have to remain quiet in the class. The minute time they come under the program and start commenting and saying X and saying Y, what I do, I will just block them. All right? Easy, like 1, 2, 3. And I don't miss them at the end of the day because some go, some come. I'm not looking for viewership anymore. I know I am the Dan Gagan when it comes to viewership. All right? When I do programs like political, economic commentary and so on, programs like that, and talk radio, I lead and others follow. My numbers are way up. So I don't really worry about that. I don't look for that anymore. That was in the past when I just started. Not now. You come on the live and you're commenting rubbish, I just block you, right? Just delete you and I, you understand? I see you, bye-bye, see you no more. And when I block you, you cannot reappear on none of my platforms. Just block you off completely. You're not able to view. You have to, even if you create something else, I can, as long as you're using the same IP address, as long as you're using the same IP address in your house to view, I would be able to permanently block you. So you can't come back on and view. No, because the system knows your IP address from your house, wherever you are. All right? So again, saying to you, you got to be careful. Folks, have a wonderful day. Take good care. I'll be back with you tonight.